Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. I'm your host, Lucas. It is March the 3rd. We got 3 days in a row of reading the AA Daily Reflections book. 3 days of new shirts, new merch in from the store. So great. Just loving it. Loving the vibe of all of this. So we've got a good one today. As you saw in the thumbnail, the title of Overcoming Self-Will, which is a really good and controversial topic in AA. It's a big one. It's a really big key piece of messaging. It's only a reflection video, so we'll only have so much time to get into it. Today, I'm going to try to focus on just a couple of key points here, because I could be putting out podcasts on this stuff, which will be the goal, by the way. But anyway, pop it up here on the screen. Feel free to read along and let's get into it. So, overcoming self-will. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 62, aka the Big Book. For so many years, my life revolved solely around myself. I was consumed with self in all forms. Self-centeredness, self-pity, self-seeking, all of which stemmed from pride. Today, I have been given the gift, through the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, of practicing the steps and traditions in my daily life, of my group and sponsor, and the capacity, if I so choose, to put my pride aside in all situations which arise in my life. Until I could honestly look at myself and see that I was the problem in many situations and react appropriately inside and out, until I could discard my expectations and understand that my serenity was directly proportional to them, I could not experience serenity and sound sobriety. Okay. Yeah, a couple of really great points in this, and those last two lines are just kind of like bangers that come out of nowhere. Oh man. Okay. I'm going to pop it up on the screen here for me just so I can read along and face you beautiful people a little bit more. Okay, so overcoming self-will. I'm going to try to summarize all of this through my experience. From my understanding with this, the issue, one of the main issues for us as addicts and self-will is we take that, like anything else, to the nth degree. We crank that amp up to 11. We will self-will our faces off through everything, through a brick wall, just to get something done the way we want or when we want, whatever, right? So all of these other things that they're talking about too in that second paragraph under the italicized piece, self-centeredness, self-pity, self-seeking, we have all these different aspects of the self. When we're in addiction, we take all of those aspects to extremes, and a big root of it for a lot of us is pride. Is ego, in this more negative view or negative context to it. And what ultimately happens is through this thinking and feeling, we do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Why? Because we're not on a planet by ourselves. We are on this planet with other people. And we have relationships with them, and work with them, or are related to them, go to school with them, or are walking down the same street as them, whatever it may be. Because our disease is so selfish, it's, and again, not us, our disease. The separation of the two is very important, so you don't beat yourself up over this. But my addict is so self-focused, I forget anyone else is there. So I'll be so obsessed with wanting to do something my way, get that accomplishment. I need to be here by this time. I don't care what I'll do in order to do that. And so I have stepped on how many toes on the way to get there? Stepped on toes, usually a lot worse than that, right? Hopefully this is making sense. So that's where this concept can be very dangerous for us. So overcoming self-will is really important in recovery because we can't keep acting like our addict self in recovery. That's a very addict behavior. So if I'm still being the same old person, but I'm just not drinking or using anymore or whatever, then I'm just a dry drunk. Haven't seen that work long term. And it just, well, maybe I've seen people very sober for a very long period of time with it, and they're still miserable and causing a lot of pain. Not in a good spot. Not why I would want to quit drinking. Let's just say that much. Okay? Crap, I'm just about to lose that thought. So, got it. All right. Ooh. So, another big thing too, if we don't overcome self-will, if we hang on to all these thoughts, we're inevitably going to use over them at some point. Because that was a huge thing, another huge reason for my drinking. If I don't get what I want, oh, fuck it, I'm drinking over it, right? So it's a very dangerous thought process and behavior that can really lead back to addiction and really fuel all of that. Because I'm still going to be trying to force things my way and hurting tons of people in the process. Then both of those things I would drink over. I'd drink because I hurt people. I'd drink because I didn't get things done the way that I wanted, right? Or drink because I did get something the way I wanted and it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. Oh, well, that was a big giant waste. You see, there's endless reasons that my brain can pull out of these selfish thoughts and feelings to justify use. And it's just really, really dangerous and not a good spot for us. Even on top of the fact that we're just going to continue to be causing harm in the world and with all these other people we interact with. And nobody really wants to be that person. Very few. So anyway, I hope this is all kind of making sense. Like I said, they're really big ideas. It's hard to kind of break down in these spots this early. We're getting there. So I hope this all kind of makes sense. So what else are we talking about here? And it just briefly in that second half of the second paragraph, just talking about working the program, engaging with fellows, doing the steps, a sponsor, God of your understanding, things like that are kind of what help get me out of myself and out of my head a little bit. I like that piece. And the last paragraph here. So all of these behaviors, everything I was talking about, that's what I think they're focusing on in the last paragraph, until I can honestly look at myself and see that I was the problem in many situations. So again, when I'm focused in self, absorbed by me, my fears, my motivations, the way I want things, and when none of those things go the way that I want, I act out, I drink, I tell you to fuck off, I burn the house down. Ultimately, yeah, that's me just not having a coping skill and having a very unreasonable reaction over me not getting things the way I want. Just having a giant, adult, dangerous and scary pity party. That's not good for anybody. Nobody likes that. It's what we do, right? Until I could discard my expectations and understand that my serenity was directly proportional to them, I could not experience serenity and sound sobriety. There we go. And then that one line before, I skipped it a bit there. See that I was the problem in many situations and react appropriately inside and out. So this is back at what I was talking about before. I guess we're getting into the difference between sobriety and recovery with this stuff. That's kind of how I like to break them down. If I could understand that my serenity was directly proportional to my expectations, Another one we could talk about for eons. I could not experience serenity and sound sobriety. So, great little sum up here of what I'm trying to talk about and these points I'm covering with this. On the more I am removing these concepts, these different aspects of self, and not trying to push and force my way through things, or being so focused on these aspects of self that I'm completely not engaging and forgetting about the whole world around me. And the more realistic I'm able to be setting expectations of these things as well, right? Oh, I want you to do this. Well, what's a reasonable expectation of another person there? The more I manage and look at all of this stuff, you saw I almost lost that there for a second. Yep. The more I'm able to manage and look at all of this and engage with it healthily, the more realistic or better chances I have of more serenity, the better recovery I'm able to feel and experience. Like it says, sound sobriety, not just being sober, but being sober and happy and peaceful and calm. All of these things, they just really, really work together in unison. Again, I hope I've been able to kind of sum all of this up and have it make sense. Because they are really big, strong topics and points, but I've just found them to be really, really crucial and important in recovery. And this perspective, just about getting out of self, having those more reasonable expectations around it, are a direct result to how peaceful my daily experience is. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I got into recovery in the first place. One of the reasons why I used so much. I could not find and experience that peace otherwise. That was why I used over. I got to know how to do it. So, anyway, there we go. I hope some of that made sense. I hope there was some good, smooth messaging in here, at least some good points out of it there for you, because there sure was a lot for me. Please, down in the comments, throw what stands out for you in this daily reflection. What are things that have helped you overcome self-will? How do you feel about this topic? Or what are some challenges you've experienced with it? Put them down there. We'd love to hear them. Great to get more community contribution, and that share could really help somebody, and that's the whole point. If you feel like you're struggling with some of this and want some more in-depth work around it, I do recovery coaching with folks. I'd be happy to chat with you and see if there's a way I can help make this make more sense and work through it with you to help you give you a better life in recovery. Email's in the description, as are all the other things that Spotlight Recovery can offer you. So more recovery coaching videos, a podcast, a network. Check them all out. Those are all free resources for you. And if you want to support the channel, help us grow, keep helping us put out this content, then please do the YouTube things. Like and subscribe and share this video with folks if you're liking the content. Donate really makes a big difference to us to keep putting out videos, joining, becoming a member, and getting yourself some of this beautiful new merch that we got rocking. Okay? Check them all out. Thank you for joining us this morning. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a blessed 24. And that's it. Bye for now.